What's up guys, it's your favorite Kiwi coach, and give me 6 months of your time, I'll give you the best golf swing of your life. So welcome back to the channel. As you guys have probably seen in some previous videos, we've actually had some lessons with our clients where we were talking about the pressure in the feet and where it should be throughout the downswing. A lot of you guys really enjoyed that video, and I wanted to do a little bit more of an in-depth video, which is exactly what this video is going to be. And I thought, you know, what better way to do this than seeing a pro versus am and going over to our best friend's YouTube channel, Athletic Motion Golf, taking a look at some swing catalyst data so you guys can actually visually see the differences. So this will be that video. If you guys are excited about that, well, let's go ahead and jump in. But before we start talking about pressure traces throughout the foot, I want to give a shout out to today's sponsor, and that is Kiwi Golf Japan. That's our membership site. You guys might have forgotten about it, but we do have a membership site, and it drives this YouTube channel, which just simply means if it wasn't for the membership site, we would not have this YouTube channel. We couldn't afford to put out these videos. So if you want to help support this YouTube channel and get access to the full versions of all these videos we're posting on YouTube, definitely make sure to check out the link down below. It'll lead you to our membership site. Go ahead and sign up, and you're going to really help support this channel and get access to a bunch of great content. Let's go ahead and jump in now about pressure trace. So like I said at the beginning of the video, guys, today we're going to be taking a look at the pressure throughout the feet, and we're going to have a really in-depth analysis, much more than what we did in the videos where you saw with the lessons from our clients. Now, as you can see behind us, we're going to have to break down everything that you're seeing so that you can understand what's going on, so it's really simple and easy for you guys to analyze what's happening. But before we even get to that, let's give a quick shout out to Athletic Motion Golf. This is the channel, and this is their video that we are reacting to. We've reacted to multiple videos on our channel about Athletic Motion Golf. And I think Athletic Motion Golf, when it comes to showing the visual differences using kind of swing catalysts, using gears, I think on YouTube, they're probably one of the best channels when it comes to that. They have many videos of the Pro vs. Am series, and it's just so clear and easy to understand the differences between the two. And they also give great insight into the golf swing as well. So definitely make sure to go check out their channel down below if you guys speak English. If you guys don't, no issues. We're going to be breaking down this video, so let's go ahead and get into our analysis. So the first step of this video is we need to understand what we're looking at so that we can clearly understand what's happening. So let's go over the big picture first. So as you guys can see, this kind of massive blue object right here, this is going to be the left foot. This will be the right foot over here. Now, if we go a layer further, there's going to be kind of the front part of the foot, which is going to be here, so kind of the toes and balls of the foot. And then there's going to be the back part of the foot, which is going to be the heel. If we go another layer deeper, we also kind of have the instep of the foot, which is going to be in this side right here. And then we also have the outstep of the foot. And then last, when it comes to the swing catalyst data, we have the center of pressure, which is kind of the sum of the 2 feet. And it's basically just showing where the center of the pressure is moving throughout the golf swing. Currently right now, I believe we're right around position 5. So this is kind of where the center of pressure currently is there. And that's kind of what we're looking at when it comes to the swing catalyst data. Now, they've actually paired this swing catalyst data to a pro, and I think that the swing catalyst data is this pro's data. I'm assuming that. I don't really know, but I believe it would be. And then this is going to be a gears avatar, so you can kind of see the 3D swing and what's happening over here. So now that you guys understand that, what I want to start to talk about is kind of from setup to top of swing. Let's go take a look at the pressure trace. And then from there, I'm going to start to break down what's happening with the pro. We'll go hop over to the amateur as well so you can see the subtle differences there. And this will be the first part of the video, so let's go ahead and hop in. All right, to start this analysis off, let's go ahead and start with setup here. So as you can see, the 3D avatar is going to be at setup. And then from here, we can kind of start to break down what's happening with this swing catalyst data. So let's start off with the lead foot here. So as we take a look at this circle right here, this is the center of pressure. We can note that it's going to be in front of this little opaque white line that you see here, which just simply means right before he takes the club back, you're going to see the center of pressure favoring more so the lead side than it is the trail side. So the lead side in this case is the left foot for a right-handed golfer. It's going to be favoring that, and that's quite common. We tend to see professional golfers shift the pressure slightly towards the left side before they start to take the club back. It's just a really common thing that we see with a lot of good golfers. Now, as we take a look at the lead side, let's start to get into the toe to heel, or kind of balls of foot to toe to heel, kind of what's the difference between the two. So if we take a look at kind of the toe and balls of foot area, we see definitely the most amount of pressure when it comes to lead foot is going to be in the balls of foot area. And it's also going to be kind of closer to the outstep than it is the instep, right? So this dark shade of red means that that's the most amount of force that's going to be applied, or it's a lot of force, right, if it's a dark shade of red. If you guys see this right here, this kind of orangish yellow, that's going to be kind of the second most amount of force right there, so still quite a lot of force into the ground, but not as much as it would be if you see the red. If you kind of see this lighter shade of blue right here, I think this is going to be the third, I believe, and then kind of this darker blue I think would be kind of the fourth. That's my assumption. I could be wrong because it's been a long time since I went through the Swing Catalyst training, but I would assume that's going to be pretty much spot on there. When it comes to kind of the pressure in terms of the balls of foot toe range to heel, I would argue maybe it's pretty close to 50-50, probably a little bit more towards the balls of the foot toe area than it is the heel in the lead side. So to give you a percentage, maybe it'd be like 60-40 or something like that. So 60% of the pressure is going to be a little bit more towards this balls of foot toe area, and then maybe 40% down here. But it would be pretty close to 50-50. And then definitely the max point of pressure into the ground is going to be that balls of foot area, kind of favoring the outstep. If we take a look at the heel here, we can see that there's a little bit of a shade of red here, and we can see that the overall positioning is a little bit more towards the instep than the outstep, so that's a little bit different than this section of the foot. But when it comes to the lead foot, that's essentially what's going on to start the swing at setup. Now, as we take a look at the trail foot here, if we go over to the balls of foot and toe section, we can see little shades of red throughout all of kind of the major points in that part of the foot. So in the toe area right here in the big foot, or the big toe, excuse me, then over here kind of towards like the pinky toe and the other toes right there, you see a little bit of red here. When we start to get into the balls of the foot, kind of towards the outstep side, you see a little bit of red here. Towards the instep side, you see a little bit of red here. And it's kind of evenly displaced amongst these points in this part of the foot. Now, if we take a look at the heel here, we can definitely see a little bit of shade of red as well. This is favoring a little bit more the outstep than it is obviously the instep. And I would assume that probably this foot especially, it might even be closer to 70% in the balls of foot and toe area relative to the heel, maybe at 30%. I could be wrong because I don't see the numbers in front of me, but I would argue there's definitely more pressure in the balls of foot toe area than the heel at this particular point in time. And now we have seen exactly what's going on at setup or right before the takeaway with this pro golfer. Let's go take a look at the pro golfer's kind of P1 to top of swing move first. I'm going to break down some of the important points when it comes to the pressure in the foot. Then after we do that, we're going to go hop into the amateur golfer. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and press play. They're going to basically take him from setup to position 2. They kind of skip over position 2 to position 3, so we're not going to be able to break that section down. But they do go all the way up to the top, and you can kind of really clearly see the differences between setup to the top of swing because there is a massive difference. And in this particular video with Athletic Motion Golf, they're particularly trying to point out the differences in what's happening with the heel, because the purpose of this video, as you guys can clearly see here, is about early extension. We're taking a little bit of different approach on this video. We're not heavily focused on early extension. We're more so just taking a look at the pressure in general and doing like a detailed analysis of it and then comparing it to the amateur golfer. So our video is going to be a little bit different than the video that you're watching here. That's why I've actually turned down the volume so you won't be able to hear what's going on because I don't want to confuse you guys. We just want to take a look at what's happening with the pressure. So let's go ahead and play it through, and once he gets to P2, I'll go ahead and stop the video. Took me a little while, guys, but I finally found P2. Let's go ahead and start to break down what's going on. So let's start out with the center of the pressure. So if you guys noted at setup with the pro golfer, the center of pressure was a little bit more over here, so more so favoring the lead side. If we take a look at position 2, now it's moved closer towards the trail side. So the pressure is starting to shift more closer towards the trail side. And then if you see this little opaque line here, that's pretty much where it's going to peak out someplace around here, which might be right around position 3 typically, or when the hands are getting close to kind of shoulder height, that's typically when the pressure has already peaked out and has started to kind of move back the other way. But in general, when it comes to the center of pressure, as you guys can clearly see, it's moving more so towards the trail side at this particular point in the golf swing. Now, when we go take a look at the lead foot here, we can see that the amount of pressure in the balls of foot kind of towards this outstep side has pretty much maintained the same. Maybe that red has actually even gotten a little bit lighter color, so the pressure is kind of not as deep as it was at address. However, we're definitely seeing a little bit of difference when it comes to the pressure in this kind of pinky foot area or kind of this side of the toes. We're definitely seeing that has lessened, and we're seeing that overall here, I think it's pretty much stayed the same in terms of pressure here. This has relatively stayed the same. This has pretty much stayed the same here. And then you could argue maybe in the heel side, it's moved a little bit even more towards the instep, That's pretty much the main differences that you're seeing in this takeaway section. Now, when you go ahead and take a look over here, definitely there's some more differences. You can note that at setup, these little red dots right here were pretty much the same color throughout all these points in the foot. We're now noticing that this side of the foot has a little bit more darker tone to it, which means that there's a little bit more force into the ground, more so towards the outstep than the instep at this particular point in the swing, which makes a whole lot of sense when he's trying to push the pressure, the COP, more so towards the trail side. And if we take a look at the heel as well, we're seeing that the overall force amount is pretty much the same, right? It's pretty much the same shade of red here and kind of orangish yellow. However, maybe you could argue it's even more so towards the outstep than it was at setup. But that's pretty much what's going on with the pro at this particular point in the golf swing. So now what I want to go ahead and do is skip ahead to the amateur golfer now. Let's go take a look at their setup as well as their takeaway, see if we can see some differences in the swing yet. And then once we get past that section, then we'll come back to the pro, take a look at the top of swing, and then as well do the same thing for the amateur golfer. Let's go ahead and jump into that. All right, so now we have our amateur golfer, and this is going to be at setup. And as you guys can clearly see, there's already a pretty massive difference with where the pressure is situated in the foot. So we're going to break down all of that right now. Now, when you take a look at the COP right here, we can see that it's still in front of this opaque line. So you would argue that overall, there'd be a little bit more pressure in the left side than there is the trail side at this particular point in the swing, which is going to be set up. So that's quite common to the professional golfer. That's pretty much the only similarity that we're going to find. Let's start breaking down the rest of the swing. All right, that's it for you guys on YouTube, but before you guys kick off, let me give you some quick wrap-up points. So I'm hoping from this video, you guys got to see a much more in-depth analysis of the pressure trace throughout the backswing. You guys really clearly hopefully saw a little bit of the professional golfer's movement from kind of setup to the takeaway, and then probably a little bit of the amateur golfers as well. So if you guys want to watch the full version of this video, you can watch it on our membership site. So definitely make sure to go ahead and sign up for that. Also, it really does support this YouTube channel and allows us to continue to make videos for you. Thank you guys again so much for watching the video. Make sure to check out Athletic Motion Golf. By far, if you want to see some very clear visual differences between the pro versus am, check out their channel. I highly recommend it. Other than that, like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next video.